Hey everyone, and welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to be looking at what you guys should be doing when you are sending your scripts back to your lecturers for a remark, right? So this is more applicable to you guys who are doing your CTA. I would expect that right now you would have received your test one results, and you might have received your scripts or you might not have. But what should you be doing, right? So the scenario is pretty much where you wrote a test, you got your mark online, you saw that it's 30%. In your heart, you know it's wrong, can never be. So you wait for your script, you get your script back, and you look at the script and you're convinced that you didn't get 30%, you've gotten 30 out of 40. The marker's done something crazy. It can only be the marker's fault, obviously, right? And that's usually and I know I've been a student, right? So the markers get the blame for this. So which is not actually fair, and I'm saying that as a marker as well. Now that I'm sitting on the other side of the fence, you understand it a lot better. So that's why I'm actually shooting this video, to sort of see what do you need to be doing? How should you be sending your paper back? So now let's assume that you've marked your paper, you've gone through the memo. What do you do? How do you actually now communicate this to the lecturer? So the first thing that you need to do is you need to actually go through your paper in absolute detail, right? So don't skim through it, see one amount that looks similar to or the same as another amount in the memo, and you've miraculously made that match. So it means, it clicks. So now you've earned a mark because it was in the memo. Now you've earned the mark. It doesn't always work that way. Okay, you need to show that you actually exercised the principle correctly, because that's what gets marked in the papers, your application of the principles rather than actually getting the final answer correct. So if you are now calling the cost of debt the cost of equity and you've calculated the amounts correctly, I mean, what are the odds that you're going to get that amount, that mark, right? So the first thing I'll say is, work through your paper and be honest. Have you actually earned that mark or not? Okay, so that's the first thing. That's normally the one which most of you are probably going to ignore, because we all know that you all earned the mark, right? So let's skip on to the next one, right? How should you now communicate this to the lecturer, right? So what I suggest is that you don't just send the paper back and make rough notes on you know the scripts, or well, you don't actually make any notes on the scripts. Please don't do that. But what you should do is have a separate piece of paper or document, right? You can either have this in writing, well, it would be in writing anyway, so you can either have it as a typed out document on in soft copy, or a physical one on a piece of paper, and you can use this as sort of like a matching tool to say that, okay, I've done part A. I see that I've missed 3 marks. However, I think I've earned these because I've done 1, 2, and 3, and the memo supports that. See, this is what's in the memo, and I've actually done this. Show the marker that you can actually make a link between, or allow the marker to be able to make that link between, what you've done and what should have been done, and they can actually see that you do understand the principle, you did get it right. Because guys, look, it's normal that certain things will slip through the cracks, because at the end of the day, with the volume of students that UNISA has, you can just imagine how much time and effort actually goes into marking. It's not a quick exercise, and with the deadlines as well. So under those circumstances, it's not difficult to imagine that mistakes might happen. Okay, and we're all human beings at the end of the day. So you know the simpler you can make it. And I've seen some students' papers who are like, the script is like talking to you. It sort of tells you where, you just go through that, and they've done everything. They demonstrate how they've application applied the principles. They've communicated their point so well. And that's something you need to do when you are answering your questions. So going forward, and I'll do this in the exam technique video, but you need to be very comprehensive in the way that you answer. bearing in mind your time restrictions as well, of course, because if you don't finish, I mean, there's nothing for the market to mark then, right? And you can't get awarded a mark for anything that you haven't answered. Okay, I think that's fairly logical. So please, like, if you've got a question or part A indicates, that okay, part A, I wasn't awarded a mark here, but here in the memo, I should have gotten one. Make that matching easy. So it's sort of a matching exercise which you should do. It's worth your time and effort to do it. It also shows the lecturers and the markers that hang on, you take your study seriously, right? You're not just someone that's taking a chance and you're just hoping that here and there you get a mark. No, no, no. Get out of that mindset. Please don't have that approach. You're not going to get anywhere with it. So I'm telling you now, not to even try. Okay, I'm not saying it in a nasty way. I'm saying it in a way that is just being honest, because that's how I'm gonna be with you guys. You guys need, I'd rather tell you what you need to hear rather than what you want to hear, right? Because whether it's good news or bad news, you'd rather than know what you're dealing with and then deal with it accordingly. Okay, instead of living in a false reality. Okay, so the third thing is to also be very mindful of when you actually send your script through. So what some of you guys do, and it boggles my mind, but you have just one, you've maybe earned 3 marks there, you'll spend the whole year not addressing that, and then when you need exam entrance, then you suddenly come with just one, and you're like, but just one, I was supposed to get 3 marks. Guys, really, that's not what you should be doing. I know that, we are students, we are, a lot of us, I mean, I myself am actually a student as well, so I am still studying further. So that's why when I say we are students, I mean it in the literal sense. I'm not being figurative about it. But when you guys are actually, behaving in this way, it makes it look as if though you guys are not taking this seriously. Okay? And is that the type of message that you want to be sending through to the marker, or to your lecturers, or to anyone for that matter? You're going to be spending a lot of time and effort studying, and you want to be making sure that you do it properly. Okay, so please be mindful of the deadlines for when tests should be submitted. I am aware of the fact that with things like postage delays and those sort of things, you might not get your paper back in time. So what I suggest is that you communicate to the lecturer. So, for example, if the deadline for test 1 is the 12th of May, right, to submit remarks, just giving an example now, communicate to the lecturer, send an email to say that, look, you haven't yet received your scripts, and please don't do it on the 11th of May either, right? Please do it, within a reasonable amount of time, and communicate to the lecturer that, look, I haven't received my script. Now, what's going to happen if I get my script back? As a responsible student, I'm going to go through my scripts and see what I've done wrong, and where I actually did earn marks which I wasn't awarded. So you need to show the lecturer that, hey, you are actually being proactive about this, and communicate to them that, look, you are experiencing delays, and from there the lecturer can then advise you accordingly. Then you can maybe submit your paper later on, and I mean, I think it would be reasonable to assume that you would get an opportunity to do that, because the delay is not your fault, right? I'm not speaking on behalf of UNISA. I'm giving my own opinion on this, but be proactive about it. Please don't just leave it to the last minute and hope for the best. I know that we all have things to do. We work, you're working, and you need to get your work commitments done, and then your academic commitments, and then you have families, and all of those sort of things. I understand. And now with COVID-19 as well, it's been an added frustration which really nobody needs and nobody wants. But having said that, you've got to make it work. You are in this, the scores, and you need to be in it fully. So you can't be half-hearted about this, right? It is difficult. I know there's a lot of time and effort, but that needs to be invested. But it's an investment. But if you don't do it properly, then it's going to be a waste. So that's not up to you. Okay. So yeah, those are my three tips or guidance measures that I would say that you should have. I don't actually have an example of what you should be doing, but I mean, with regards to the document that I'm saying that you should actually do this whole matching thing on. But that I mean, I trust that you guys would be able to do that. So it doesn't need to be something hectic now, just so that you can actually communicate to the lecturer. Be professional about this. Really take it seriously. Show everyone that you are taking it seriously, and you'll see a difference. If you approach this in a serious way, you're going to see a difference in your results. I promise you. If you're going to approach it in a casual way or in a part-time way, then it's going to become a bit of a problem. And some people might be, but we are part-time students. I would say that you need to look at yourself as a student that's working, not as an employee that's studying. Okay, that's how you're going to be successful at this course. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult. Okay. So anyway, that's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a like. I'd really appreciate that. Another thing that the like does, it benefits you in the sense that if I change the title of this video and you like this video and you want to watch it again, if I've changed the title, you might not find it. So when you like a video on YouTube, and you can try this with any other video as well, you'll see that it actually gets saved under your liked videos when you look at your channel. And if I change the title of the video, you should still be able to find this video because the video is the same. It's just the title that's changed, but you'll be able to find it with the new title. Sometimes I might change the title just to make it a bit more relevant or just to improve its visibility, in YouTube's search engine. So that might happen. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be a dramatic change in the title, but it does help. So yeah, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it or anything. If you found it useful, please, I'd really appreciate a like. Share the video with anyone you think would be able to benefit from this, and subscribe if you haven't already, because I've already explained it in my other videos that it makes it just so much easier for me to know that you guys are going to get it. I don't have to keep posting in the groups each and every time, and I can focus on doing this. So it takes a huge headache off my head as well. Okay. Other than that, that's all from my side. Good luck with the studying if you have already started, and I'll see you guys in the next video.